The 778th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Just go to edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Rhythm is giving away a $250 future and throwing a March Madness party. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for all the details.
Howdy ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 778 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to my mother, who I forgot to dedicate an episode to on her birthday last Monday. So I'm only a week late. So. We record a little in advance, and I totally forgot. I think we did that one like 2 days before her birthday, and I totally forgot. She has given up on listening and watching us years ago, I think, so she won't even know. But anyhow, this goes out just for karma purposes. This goes out to my mother. Thank you for coming to the show. I am Jeff, the Shifty-Eyed Fox, and welcome to a CFFC episode. We have not covered. We cover them fairly often, fairly regularly. They have a very interesting event, to say the least, this week. Very interesting main event, something you would not expect to see in Cage Fury, but we are seeing it. So we'll talk about that very, very shortly. I, of course, have the gentleman riding shotgun with me, Danny Gamble, who is the king of regional MMA. I didn't give you a chance last episode because we talked UFC to start things off. To gloat, I think you had a very good weekend. It
was an up and down weekend. Actually, it wound up actually being down a little bit.
Really?
We hit a lot of underdogs, but it was such an underdog heavy weekend that a lot of our favorites didn't cash. KSW and Pancrase wound up being pretty darn bad for us, which zapped a lot of our profits. Wound up being about down 2 units and are back up to. Actually, we're up just under a unit on the year. So still digging ourselves out of that early Aries hole. Are
we going to cover Aries again?
Maybe never again. I'm brutal. I don't know why I'm so bad at Aries. Maybe I just maybe it's something about how I handicap French fighters.
Maybe.
We're gonna have to look into that. But yeah, we're still in the red or in the black on the year. Just not nearly the up 50 units we were last year. We did hit a massive underdog in Constantino Detellus, though.
Yep, people are loving that in the Discord. Yep.
Yeah, he got all the way up to 425 by fight time, which is a
you got in on a bad number, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I told everybody this was I had the anti CLV that John usually loves. But yeah, no, glad that everybody got him at a bigger number than I did because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys win.
What you had plus 250 or something? See, really?
At 240, which is still a good dog. Yeah.
Don't get greedy.
Also, just for the record, he came in 8 pounds overweight. Which I think is why the number kept going up. But I'm like, he's a wrestler and he didn't try to cut weight. Why would you not be more in on him?
Yeah. There's when they miss by a pound or two, then look out because that means they probably drain themselves. But yeah, if they miss by that much, it usually means they do not care.
Chunky.
Yep. I checked. Aries isn't running in for another couple months, so
nice.
Hopefully it's a busy week by then. But yeah, it's not like they're bringing in massive viewers for us either. So if you want to skip Aries, that's fine.
We might skip Aries. They might be my new
Aries messes the profit and messes the view average. So but they're growing. So maybe you just have to grow with Aries. They're a new promotion. You just haven't got a feel for them yet. You have a feel for CFFC though, right?
Yeah, I usually hit a couple of good underdogs on CFFC. Yeah. They usually have lines that I find pretty crazy. And I think we're going to run into a couple of them here too.
Are the lines easily found or is this a hit and miss?
Yeah. This is one that's always on the offshore book. So you'll always find them.
Awesome. All right. Before we dive into it, gear up for March. Hopefully you've already geared up because it is March already, but you can gear up even more with Merch Madness. Promo code Madness for 20% off in the SGPN store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. We have tons of good stuff. They're not just clothes, accessories, mugs, all that cool stuff. Lots of nice hats, like the one I'm wearing. Lots of cool MMA gambling podcast stuff. So check it all out, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your code. Get in there now before the promo code is done. All right, we got Cage Fury Fighting Championship 140. Have you been to a CFFC event or do they not get over to your part
They go as high as like New Jersey. It got to be a little bit of a haul for me to get there. So I haven't been to one. I watch a lot of CFFC.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be watching this one.
They're like a Philly, Jersey type area, right?
Yeah. They do a lot of shows in Philly, but sometimes Atlantic City and stuff like that.
This one's at the 2300 Arena, aka the ECW Arena for old school wrestling fans in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. CFFC at 140, Roberts. No, it's not. It's still called Roberts versus Alvarez, or no, it's called Amosov versus Millender. Yes, a couple of names you may have recognized, and they are fighting at CFFC. So March the 14th, so that would be Friday, right? By my math, yes. 6 p.m. Eastern start time. So we just did a Cage Warrior starts at noon, I think, that day. So this will be perfect. It'll flow right into one another for you, so you can ignore everything else in your life. It is on UFC Fight Pass. And it's, I told you what's happening. 13 fights. We've got the 5 juiciest ones Gumby is interested in, and then we will have our lightning round at the end. Hopefully that works for all of you. If it doesn't, then tough. You're going to watch and you're going to enjoy it anyhow. All right. We're starting off with, this is a topology special that is not in the correct order, I think. So we went off of CFFC's site. We are starting with a featherweight fight. Ryan Cafaro versus Ricardo. No, not Ricardo. He's not from Brazil. Ricardo Fuentes. He is from Colombia. They don't pronounce their R's as H's in Colombia there. 3 5-minute rounds. No odds dropped yet, but as Gumby said, you'll be able to find them. If you know where to, or if you know how to Google, you'll be able to find them. Fuentes is AK-47. Andre Kirilenko shouts out. 6-3, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 2-1 in CFFC, 3-1 over his last 4. He did win his last fight. Has not lost since December 2022. So he had quite a break from fighting there. Used to fight at 135. Professional grappler, got a draw in his one fight that we have a record for. 8 years younger than Cafaro, 2 inches taller. Cafaro is Korean Thunder, 11-6 with 1 no contest. Been knocked out 2 people, submitted 7 people. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 6-2 in CFFC. 4-1 with 1 no contest over his last. That would be 6 fights, no contest last fight. He's a regional champ. He went 0-1 in Bellator. He's been fighting since 2013 professionally.
Yeah, this is one of those fights where, and if you've watched our regional coverage before, when I've handicapped it and thought what the public might be on and what the books might be on, I really thought Cafaro was going to be a favorite. And from what I'm hearing from some of the people who I know in the know, most people think Fuentes is going to be, which is an interesting one for me. So we're just going to call this one a pick 'em. That's what I do when I'm confused by what the experts say and what I say based on my eyes. And I'm going to go with Cafaro. I thought he was going to be a favorite here. I thought for sure we were going to be playing him on that side. But hey, if he's a dog, I'll like him even more. The bottom line is that like Fuentes has really good takedown defense against all the people he's fought. And I don't really think too highly of his resume in terms of that, which is part of why I thought he was going to be an underdog. And so like he's had good takedown defense. His striking is all right, especially for somebody this far down on a CFFC card. Like he throws a nice jab, paws it out there, lands some nice combinations behind it. And he usually throws in combinations. My big problem with Fuentes is though, his offensive wrestling, not terribly good. So it's, he's able to keep it on the feet. And also, he's very hittable. His chin is way up in the air. The return shots are definitely going to be there. He doesn't get in and out well. So if he jabs and finishes up the combination, he just kind of hangs around and looks like he can get hit. And for me, Cafaro is the perfect person to exploit that because Cafaro throws big, hard hooks, and he always does it in a blitz fashion. So if Fuentes just hangs around there, he's going to be in range all the time to get hit with these big shots. And he doesn't protect himself particularly well. On top of that, like you mentioned, Cafaro is got a pretty damn good ground game. He's scored some submissions in his career. He has got big double leg takedowns. So even though Fuentes' takedown defense is sort of held up in the past, I kind of expect that it won't here. I think Cafaro is going to land some takedowns. And even if he doesn't, I think the hands and how hard he hits, because he does have a couple of knockouts in there. And as hard as he hits, and as hittable as Fuentes is, I just think it's going to go well. So give me Ryan Cafaro. If he's a slight favorite, I'm still right there in on him. If he's anywhere near dog money, I'm definitely in on him.
The keep your chin up in the air is your new leaning. You used to be leaning, you'd hate. Now that's the chin up. So
I still hate leaning. We got a leaner coming up. Is it today or we either got a leaner today or tomorrow. I can't remember which one I was breaking down on Sunday, but like, yeah, we got a leaner coming up. I still hate that.
Boo. Boo leaners. Topology heavily into Fuentes, 75%. So maybe you're going to get a good line on.
What the hell is that? I don't know what the hell that is.
Well, good. That's good, Gumby. It's a good thing if people are seeing something you're not, that could be, or they think you see something that you don't see. That's good. That means you're going to get a good line and you're going to win. So trust in Gumby. That's what I say. All right, we're going up the card to a fight at 170. Chris Brown, not the singer guy. Egor Kostyuchenko. Brown is from the United States. Egor with an E is from the Ukraine. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds. I'll tell you about Kostyuchenko first. He's 5-0, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. This is his debut in CFFC. He used to fight at 185. 1-0 as pro grappler. 9 years younger than Brown. 2 inches taller, 3 inches of reach. Breezy the Future, obviously, is Brown's nickname. He's 10-5, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's never been finished in a fight. He also has some finishes. This is his CFFC debut as well. We got a lot of debuting fighters. Actually, all the rest of the card that we're going to cover are people debuting. He's gone 2-2 over his last 4. Loss, win, loss is the pattern there. 0-2 in PFL. He was an LFA champ. He has missed weight before at 170 and used to fight at 155.
So I think Kostyuchenko is going to be a favorite here. The undefeated record, the fact that Chris Brown's kind of got a journeyman's record, despite not really being a journeyman. So I'm going to say
future, bro.
I'm going to go Kostyuchenko like -155 is my guess, and I'm going to pick him in this one. I think, for me, remember on yesterday's episode when I was trying to remember if that guy fought Trey Ogden or Harris Talanzek? It was Chris Brown who fought Harris Talanzek. Oh, okay. That's my mistake on that one. And he got taken down a bunch of times and like beat up in that fight. Now, ultimately, he won that fight because he got back up, and he is an electric striker. He's really explosive. He weirdly stands like sideways all the time, like he's trying to throw Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels' sweet chin music.
Yep.
The thing is, though, is that he doesn't. The way he strikes doesn't read as he's a karate fighter.
Yeah.
To me, so like it's almost like he borrowed that stance and is like using it because it like makes people uncomfortable. And Kostyuchenko is never uncomfortable. I don't know if you know this. Do you know the story about Egor Kostyuchenko and how crazy he is?
No.
So he's the guy. I don't know if you remember. It went viral a couple of years ago. Who got carjacked, but then jumped on the car and like rode it all the way to like get the guys out of his car later. Like he just grabbed on to. I don't know if he got all the way there, but he rode it for quite a while. But he like just grabbed onto the window and was just like holding on for a long period of time. And made all kinds of like the clickbaity MMA sites ate it right up. So his fighting style is pretty similar. It seems like there's almost no thought into it, and he just comes with like wild takedowns. His grappling game's really good. I've got issues with his striking game. He's a little stiff when he's striking. It seems like he's just not comfortable with it yet. And, he's only 5 fights into his pro career. So, like, I could see Chris Brown giving him problems, which is probably why the line will stay close. But at the end of the day, Chris Brown, like, had trouble with the grappling at Talanzek. I think Kostyuchenko can, like, mimic that kind of part of that game and just be, like, even a little bit better at holding him down. So I'm going to go with Kostyuchenko in this one.
He fights like he's being carjacked, right?
Yeah. He just holds on.
Exactly. All right. For you guys, hold on. And we'll give you some more free picks, winning picks after I tell you about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status so you can make Phildelphia and Al Horford prop plays. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. Phildelphia and Al Horford prop plays, they got them there. Obviously, you're going to want to check out the MMA lines as well. And when you do head over to mybookie.ag, make sure you use our promo code MMA SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. All right, moving back to Philly we go. and we are talking about sticking with welterweight, actually. Jimmy Drago versus Junior Melo, U.S. versus Brazil. They built the Brazilian first. Melo, the Fortaleza kid. Guess where he's from in Brazil, Gumby?
Fortaleza.
Yeah, boom.
Also, we have somebody on tomorrow's show whose nickname is just Fortaleza.
Oh, that's right. We do. Yeah.
We have 2 Fortalezas this week.
Yeah, that's it. It's a heavy Fortaleza episodes coming up. This Fortaleza kid is 14-9-1, 7 knockouts, 7 submissions. So he's finished everyone. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. So he does not owe us rounds. This is his debut. He in CFFC 1-1-1 over his last 3, 2-4-1 over his last 7. Got a draw in his last fight. He's a regional champ, or was. 2013 Pro MMA debut. He has fought pretty much at every weight class. 145, 155, 185. Drago. No nickname needed because Drago is a nickname for a lot of people. 7-2, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. This is his debut as well. I told you everyone's debut now. He's won 3 straight and 7 of 8. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt, get our gear, get our merch. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your code. I have not said that for quite a while, and I'm not going to say it tomorrow's episode either. So, I'm going to say it once. Buckle up. 3 years younger than Melo. That's all I got.
I think Drago is going to be a huge favorite because of the record, the recent results from Melo. But I'm going to take a swing on Melo. I bet you he comes in the 300s, like plus 325. And I'm going to be honest, like I think he's the type of fighter who could give Jimmy Drago a lot of trouble. So Drago is like a long welterweight. He's got knockouts on his record, but he just doesn't have a lot of power. Like if you watch those knockouts, it's like tag a guy, he like wobbles around, tag him again, he wobbles around, tag him again. He maybe falls down, he gets back up, and you have to hit him a couple of more times. And then like the ground and pound eventually does him in. He's just not like a guy who has like one hit power. Whereas like Junior Melo is exactly that. Like if you go back and you watch like Junior Melo's knockouts, like he creates power in like such small places too. Like they're like barely outside of the clinch, and he throws what looks like he's just trying to touch you. And is like turn people's lights off that way. And in addition to that, he's a really good wrestler. Now, in both the striking and the grappling, he's completely wild, which is why he's lost as many fights as he has. He doesn't settle into positions. He throws flying stuff. He throws spinning stuff, and seemingly doesn't make any sense in the times and places he does it. But like, I don't know that there's anything about Jimmy Drago's game that like makes me say like, oh, he'll exploit that. You know, because he like, you know, he establishes his range well, which might keep him safe from some of that spinning stuff. But like at a certain point in time, he's going to have to be the one doing the damage, or he's going to have to be the one shooting a takedown. And against Junior Melo, like, I don't know, maybe he'll take him down a bunch, but like, I feel like Melo could probably handle the wrestling. He's really strong. He creates a lot of power. I just think like this is maybe a fun spot for an underdog. So I'm going to take Junior Melo here as kind of an upset pick.
We like fun. We like to make 3 times our money. So that's good. Let's take it. Let's take a Melo. All right. We have got a title fight next. It's not the main event now, though. It is for the Cage Fury FC vacant lightweight championship. So I have to ask Gumby the obvious question. Why is it vacant, Gumby?
It used to be Robert Watley, and I'm pretty sure he signed with PFL, but I don't know if he's in the PFL season or not. So I don't know that worked out for him.
Who knows with them and their seasons?
I can't imagine he made their lightweight season.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's not to offend Robert Watley. He just, that doesn't profile as somebody who's going to be like lined up with Brett Primus in the first round.
Brett Primus does sound like someone who would be in it, though, for sure.
Brett Primus is. Yeah, he is, by the way.
Definitely. All right. So the gentleman fighting for this vacant lightweight strap are Jesse Roberts from the United States, Omar Rzgoev from Russia. 5-minute rounds, 155. I'll tell you about Rzgoev first. He is 4-0, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. He owes his rounds, damn it. This is his short notice, a debut in CFFC, and that is all I got. Hopefully Gumby has more. Roberts, 8-1, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He's been submitted once. This is his debut as well. He's won 2 straight, including his last fight via submission. He went 1-1 in Bellator. He's an inch taller than Rzgoev.
I'm going to make our friend Ryan H. very happy. I'm going to take the who I believe will be an underdog in Rzgoev because
he's not Armenian, is he? I said he was Russian. He's Armenian.
I'm pretty sure he's Armenian, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I screwed up and said Russian, but I think you are right. Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. He is. He has a Russian name though, but yes, he's Armenian. Yes.
Yeah, he's Armenian. Yeah, it doesn't say. It's not Rzgoy Ayan. Yeah. So I like Rzgoev. he took this fight on short notice. Jesse Roberts was already supposed to be in the title fight, which is why I think he'll come in as a favorite. I'm guessing like -200, +170 on the return for Rzgoev. And like I said, I'm going to take Rzgoev. The big piece for me, both of these guys are pretty competent wrestlers. Roberts, I want to say, comes from a college wrestling background, but like doesn't really do much to pass. If he does get the takedowns, he kind of just sits in guard. And Rzgoev is really explosive and has his own takedown game that has looked pretty good. In fact, like I kind of like his control game a lot better than Roberts. I also think he gets like underneath the hips a little bit better than Roberts does. And at the end of the day, like if they just stall out in the grappling, that's fine for me too, because I think Rzgoev is a much better striker than Roberts here. He throws some very, very, very impactful hooks. And like when he backs you up against the cage and just starts letting go, he can do a lot of damage like that. And if you've watched Roberts, you can tell he wants this to be a grappling match. So like anytime somebody backs him up against the cage, his defense kind of falls apart. He's like one of those guys who like flails a little bit when people get in his face, like he's trying to push his opponent away instead of covering up or instead of circling away. And that often just gets you hit harder or, more on the button. So I think Rzgoev here is in a really good spot to sort of exploit those striking deficiencies in Jesse Roberts. And also I think he's just got enough of the wrestling game that should make it hard for him. So yeah, give me Omar Rzgoev.
All right. Rzgoev, you were saying in the twos, right? For him, hopefully?
I think I said +170. I think
Okay.
like -200 on Roberts because he's the favorite, but he's getting an undefeated prospect coming in the other way. It's just like a limited record undefeated prospect, so like probably won't get too close.
Okay, very good. Before we get to our main event and our lightning round plays, let me tell you about Rhythm. Rhythm is RATHMM. Rhythm is throwing an epic March Madness party, and you're invited. All Rhythm users are invited to a first floor watch party at Wednesday, March the 19th at the awesome Stadium Swim at Circa Las Vegas. Free drinks, plus you get to hang out with the guys from SGPN. And it gets better. Rhythm is also giving away a $250 March Madness future for one random lucky Rhythm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still enter the contest for the future bet. So come by and use Rhythm to help you fill out your bracket and make some bets while you're there, because Rhythm knows what they're talking about. Last March Madness, for instance, 2024, with the UConn winning, their percentage of winners was 39% higher than in ESPN brackets as a whole. Rhythm had 34% of the brackets. ESPN had 24.7%. Rhythm predicted Duquesne, NC State, and Oakland upsets. 45% of Rhythm brackets had NC State reaching the Sweet 16. Free party plus a chance at a $250 future bet. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party for more details at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/party. And Underdog Fantasy, NBA, NHL, college basketball, whatever your sport, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Underdog is offering a Luka Doncic discount for every Lakers game for the rest of the regular season. Also for football diehards, pick'em projections for select players, 40-yard dash times during this week's NFL Combine. Gumby, do you have a pick and play for one of our favorite players on this podcast, or what are you doing?
On Monday, I'm going to take Josh Giddey's assists. He has gone actually in his last 5 games, he's averaging over 10 assists a game, and he's gone to 3 out of the last 5 games. So let's take the higher than on Josh Giddey's assists.
All right, he is one that Gumby does like to mention quite often.
Yeah, he's a Chicago Bull. We got to
exactly.
We like the ones who are left.
There's not many left to like, but yes. All right, our code MMASGPN when you go sign up at underdogfantasy.com, and if you do that, you get a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. All right, we are to our main event, and this. What an odd main event to have on regional scene.
I can explain exactly why it's here if you want.
Yeah. Yaroslav Amosov, Curtis Millender. Gumby will tell you why.
Yeah, Amosov got himself out of his contract with Bellator.
With Bellator /
and
PFL.
he
PFL
very clearly wants to come to the UFC. And the best way to do that is to go dominate somebody the UFC has heard of on a regional card held by LFA or CFFC. And so like he needs one of these types of wins before the UFC will snatch him up and put him on a card. So he's just going to go in there and obliterate Curtis Millender. Sorry, spoiler alert for my pick. He's going to go in there and obliterate Millender and hope that that's enough for the UFC to sign him.
Yeah, there you go. Gumby made it very succinctly for you there. They were already scheduled to fight, right? Somewhere else, I think. I'm not sure if it was...
I'm hearing of it, but yeah. Sure.
Yeah, no, it was listed. I'm not sure what it was for legacy. It said legacy, but not LFA. So I'm not sure if they're supposed to fight originally in Bellator way back when, but
probably way back in Bellator. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I think their last fight, but because Amosov hasn't fought for a while, but it doesn't really make a difference. They are fighting now. It's 3 5-minute rounds. A special feature main event is listed at 183 pounds. So don't want to cut the extra couple pounds. Who's Yaroslav Amosov is famously from the Ukraine. He actually stopped fighting for a while there to actually fight for his country. He's fighting against Curtis Millender from the United States of America. 3 5-minute rounds. Millender is courteous. One of the worst nicknames, I think, right?
Yeah,
it's a bad one. We've talked about it before. It's not a good nickname for a fighter. Courteous is 21-10 with 1 no contest, 7 knockouts. So he is kind of courteous, really. He doesn't knock out a lot of people. He's been knocked out twice, submitted 5 times. This is his debut in CFFC. He's won 3 of 4. Did get TKO'd in his last fight, though. He went 3-3 in Bellator, 3-2 in the UFC, 0-2 in PFL. He's got multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Hey, I forgot there is another one. Great. Correct. Store. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Madness is your code. Used to fight at 170, 185. 2013 Pro MMA debut. 1-0 in bare knuckle MMA. 3-0 in pro boxing. 3 inches of height, 3 inches of reach over Amosov. A lot of threes. And Amosov is dynamo. 27-1. 9 knockouts, 10 submissions. He's been knocked out once. That was in his last fight. This is his debut in CFFC as well. He's not fought since November 2023. He's not won since February 2023. He went 8-1 Bellator. He was the champion, long-reigning champion for a while there. A regional champ as well. Used to fight at 170 and 185, just like Millender. 2012 Pro MMA debut, 6 years younger than Millender. And he's going to obliterate him, apparently.
Yeah, it's not going to be close. Millender lost his last fight. You said by knockout. Do you know who he lost to?
I do, but I don't remember now.
Alexander Shlemenko. Remember?
Yes.
Remember
yeah,
him?
Of course.
Yeah. Do you know what promotion hosted that fight?
I want to say Samurai Fight House, but it probably was
Shlemenko FC.
Oh yes, that's right.
So he fought the promoter and got knocked
you better
out.
lose. You better lose to the promoter.
Yeah, which is just. I mean, I feel like that's the stage that Millender's career is in. Like, not that he wasn't a good fighter once upon a time, but Shlemenko doesn't have anything left at this point and is still out there beating him. And Amosov is, I was saying for a while, one of the best in the world at his weight class for a very long time. Yeah. And he dropped off a bit, and some could say that was the layoff when he went to fight in the army and stuff like that. But the bottom line is he's got a great wrestling game. I think he can outstrike Millender here. He should obliterate him. And he's looking to make a statement, right? Because as I said, he left the company that he had sort of built his brand off of. And now he's trying to get into the UFC and, one of these Pitbull guys or, one of these other guys who came out of Bellator and is trying to sneak their way into the UFC. And so he's trying to do the same. He's got to do it emphatically just by being a, exciting 25-minute wrestling match or 15. This is only a 15-minute fight, but a 15-minute wrestling match that it's not going to do it. Right. So he's going to come out here and I think he's going to look explosive.
Yep. One of those Pitbull guys, right? All the Pitbulls are actually just one of them so far. But
I think Patricky wanted to come over. I think they're much less interested in him.
No, I can see why.
I think he's in. Isn't he in GFL now? The fake team league.
Everyone is, I'm sure. So yes, can't wait to. Hopefully they do at least one event so we can see how much fun it is.
They started announcing fights. They don't have a date or location, but they started announcing fights.
Great. Yeah, with the roster full of half the fighters don't even know that they're in GFL, so which makes it even better. Amosov, they would not do contender series to him, right? With a guy with that resume.
I mean, you would imagine not, but I don't know. The UFC does a lot of things that make you say what, but no, I he really does feel like the UFC should be interested in this guy. I think just one big explosive fight against a former, veteran like Millender should be enough.
Good. All right, let's recap, and then Gumby will give you lightning round picks. So very fun fight card here. We got Amosov. What did you say the number was for him?
Oh, I didn't say. But negative 750, negative 800. Yeah.
Is it playable?
I mean, depending on your appetite for risk. If you're one of those people who likes to drop $1,000 to win $100, then I think he should win easily. I don't think there's too much risk in that, but yeah, it's depends on your appetite for risk.
What is playable? How's that for a question?
I mean, you could, if he's in the 4s or 5s, you could use him to bolster some parlays. But we've sort of talked about it before. I'm not one to really believe in playing money lines that high that are it's MMA where things happen.
But we have a lot of desperate degenerates who probably will. All right, send us your tickets in the Discord, and we can see how desperate you are. All right, Amosov, Rzgoev, Melo. Hopefully those are the two big dogs for Gumby that hit. Kostyuchenko and Cafaro, who could be a dog as well, possibly. All right, landing rounds. That Bamboon Powell. Let us.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of other pro MMA fights, but I'm gonna take Tom Hins. Tom Hins is a fighter who's coming out of Nick Catone's MMA in New Jersey, and he's got that kind of like Nick Catone style, which is sort of what I like about him. He's a grinder. He's 4-3, and he's going to be fighting another 4-3 guy. So who knows what the numbers will come in on, but I like that grindy sort of style. And then the other one's Sebastian Ruiz, El Gallo. Do you know what El Gallo means in Spanish?
The guy.
No, it's the chicken.
Oh, really? We
talked
about him before?
No, El Gallo Negro is
right. Yes.
Is when we talked. I think that's Kevin Borjas' nickname.
Yeah.
He's Peruvian too, though. Sebastian Ruiz is.
Yeah, like
and
chickens there.
Yeah, and he's fighting a guy whose last name ends in OV. So that's automatically going to make him an underdog. But he has fought some like really high-level guys. He fought Austin Arnett early in his career. He actually is coming off of a win over Ricky Bandejas. So like he's 5-5, but he's like actually like put in a lot of good work at this stage in his career. And he's like very tall, lanky. And like I just think he's going to give his opponent some trouble. So Sebastian Ruiz and Tom Hins are my two lightning round plays.
Chicken is an interesting nickname for a fighter. Maybe it doesn't have the same connotations in different countries, but yeah. All right, Gummy's got you set. Anyone that we should keep an eye on? Obviously Amosov, he's not a prospect at this point. Hopefully we see him in the UFC. Anyone else you see at least contender series in the future?
Yeah, I like Rzgoev. You know, I'll be honest. Like before we started breaking down this fight card, I didn't really know Omar Rzgoev. He was a new one for me. And I saw, 4-0 taking a title fight on short notice. Didn't certainly, jump off the page. And then as I started watching him, like, he's got a lot of potential. I really like what I saw out of him. And I sort of like what I see out of Ryan Cafaro too. I know most people look at this card and say Kostyuchenko is the prospect. I think he really needs to round his game out before I start talking about it. But Cafaro has shown, like even though maybe he doesn't have the prettiest record, that he's kind of got some tools that if he starts to put together would be really dangerous. So yeah, obviously Amosov, I like Rzgoev and maybe Cafaro.
All right, excellent. Hopefully these people come through for you. Hopefully we came through for you as well. I'm sure we did. At the very least, we entertained. If you want more entertainment and our picks, we're in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We're on YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. We're on Twitter, X, SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that. He's at Gumby Reland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Check out my Substack. I won't be running a pick'em for this week because UFC is running every week and I don't have enough prizes to do every show. And it's not exactly the most star-studded UFC.
It's a pretty good one. The undercards got bangers on it. Yeah.
Vittori versus Dolidze too.
Yeah, I'm not pumped about that fight. Or the co-main isn't all that great. But like there are some bangers on there and some people I'm excited to see.
We shall talk about that in 2 days. So yeah, moneymma.substack.com. Check out I will be covering the event, whether it's a banger or not. Gumby has Top Turtle MMA podcast. It's a regional one. It's a Louisiana episode, right?
Yeah, Kurt Hollabaugh and Carly Judici both coming to us from Louisiana.
There you go. So check that out. Top Turtle MMA. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Madness is your code. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for bonus content and to help us out. Support the network. And of course, if you want to help out this show specifically, mybookie.ag and underdogfantasy.com, use promo code MMASGPN. And Gummy will bid you farewell until tomorrow, where we're covering a promotion we've never covered before.
All right, I'm Dana Gumby Freeland. He's El Blanco Gallo, and Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.
You don't know how to say